Hello. Blinking egg. Big ups to everyone. Apologies for the long wait again. Man, I keep forgetting to open this window. What a mug, eh? Let's get this window open. Blinking egg. On a hot day like this, how can someone forget to open the window? But there you go. Window's now open. Oh, headset's on the wrong way. There we go. That's better. Anyway, here we are. Big ups to everyone who's tuning in. We got 3 people in the stream right now. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below. And like, not a ton of news popping off, but stuff did come out, and I want to talk about it, because why not? You know, I'd rather stream than not. But yeah, big ups to everyone who's tuning in at the moment. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below. But look, yeah, we had some news today. We've had a here we go on Perone, but it's quite interesting. If you don't know, he's going to be joining Como. But it's it's a very different situation to what we thought it was going to be like a couple months ago. To be honest with you. Sorry, I feel like the camera's been like turned a little bit, so I'm just going to bring that a little bit more like that. Anyway, it's very much a situation. Well, I'll just show you. I'll just show you. How about that? Man, and also, bit of a bombshell for you. This has come out 40 minutes ago. Gibbs White to Tottenham. Here we go. 60 million release clause. Yeah, it's happening. Kudus and now Gibbs White. So anyone that wanted Gibbs White, anyone that was advocating their Gibbs White fan flag, I hate to break it to you, but he's playing in white and navy blue. Well, very dark blue, I'd say that is. I don't really think it's black, if I'm honest with you. But Morgan Gibbs White to Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs trigger the £60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today. Medical booked and set to take place in 24 hours. And there you have it. City will not be signing Gibbs White. And I mean, hey, I was always of the opinion that I wasn't opposed to the signing. I just thought we needed more in different areas, and the fee was too steep for the role that he would play in this squad. Okay, I thought he'd be like a solid squad player, solid 8 for the team, getting a lot of appearances, but not being the guy we look to change a game. Just being a bit of a reliable midfielder, helping out where he can. Now then, we had more news from Fabrizio today. And that was that Bayer Leverkusen have agreed a $5 million package deal to sign Farid Alpha Ruprecht, a 19-year-old in City's academy. I'm not too sure what his position is. I feel like it's striker or winger. I can't remember. It's striker, winger, or cam, I think. And yeah, he's going to be joining for $5 million. But the big thing is about this deal is that we're getting a 40% sign clause, which is very good, to be fair. That's almost 50%. If you get sold for a mega fee of like $100 million, we're getting $40 million of that, which is just beautiful, to be fair. Sorry, just had some messages that I need to check. It's been a crazy day. It's been an absolutely crazy day. But let me turn that off and come back over to here. Again, big up to everyone who's tuning in. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below on this. But yeah, Fabrizio Romano, he's confirmed that we're losing this academy talent. Not gonna lie, I do think I heard of this guy. I think he was in our previous preseason, okay, but just didn't really play much. But again, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know anything about him. I know Divin Mukasa is meant to be our top guy in the academy at the moment, as well as someone else. I can't remember his name, but I know those two are meant to be our top ballers. But we don't seem to be losing them, But again, the big thing is we're going to get a lot more money, hopefully, in the future for this guy. Maybe, even getting 20 million for him. That's 25 million bought on him alone, which is just really good, to be fair. Now then, again, more news on James McAtee. Just multiple teams. He seems to be a very big target all over the world, all over Europe, to be fair. I've seen about 4 clubs from the Bundesliga. I'm now seeing Fiorentina, Roma, Atalanta, all interested. Teams from the Premier League too. We know Forest are probably the biggest in terms of the interest at the moment. But more than them, especially Forest now, they've just brought in over 100 million to the club with the sale of Gibbs White and Elanga. So it wouldn't surprise me if Forest really pounce on this now. They've brought in a lot of money, academy talent with James McAtee from City. Our academy's got a pretty good track record, to be fair, succeeding elsewhere. And McAtee is a very highly admired player, and that would only cost them 20 to 25 million. So really don't be surprised if Forest pounce on this. They've also got European football. That's only going to be a good thing for James McAtee's eyes. But so many clubs are into this guy, like at least 10. Other Premier League teams are looking at him too. I believe Palace are interested, especially as Eze looks like he's on the way out. What's going on this transfer window? Gibbs White to Tottenham. Yeah, I know yesterday we were just talking about him agreeing to personal terms with us. But look, I'm not really too bothered about Gibbs White because my stance is always clear. Would I take him? Yes. But I wouldn't be too bothered if we didn't get him. I was kind of fine with us not getting him. How did Gibbs White have a release clause? Forest asked for 80 million. Probably a bit PR from Forest, to try and draw interest away. But hey, if we knew the details of the deal and we knew it was 60 million, we were probably thinking it was more 80 million because of, I don't know, maybe wages and whatnot. But yeah, 60 million for me, for a squad player, it's not the worst, especially nowadays, man. You can just spend 60 million on a squad player. Look at Nico Gonzalez, 60 million in January. He's been on our bench more than he's played, and he's barely got 10 overall appearances if you add it up in terms of minutes, so really wouldn't surprise me. Now let's go down a bit more. Again, another youngster, 17-year-old City talent. Jaden Lianu will join Leeds United for 500,000, and he'll be with the under-21s team, as Adam Underwood and Andrew Taylor have been key in this deal. And again, it's another young talent that we're losing. Obviously, not super bothered. There's probably some clause in this that we're going to have as well. Maybe. We tend to do it on like the bigger deals, to be fair. But yeah, we might very well be interested in this guy, and might very well have some sort of clause on him. But for a deal so low, we probably don't. City have set their sights on Velez Sarsfield forward. Maher Carizo, probably messed that up. 19-year-olds contracted till December next year with a €16 million release clause. If City are successful in signing the player, the plan is to loan him to River Plate, a club we've got a very good relationship with. And yeah, seems to be the main idea with City at the moment. Bring in a player, loan them out, see how they do. Well, I say see how they do. They just get sold anyway, so that could very well be the case with this guy. And I'll get on to that in just a moment. And here we go. This was kind of like an interesting one. City, Fabrizio Romano reported earlier that we have sold Perone to... what club's that? I thought it was Fulham for a moment. Fabrizio Romano said that we've sold Perone to Como for 13 million. I'll find the exact thing. He's going to undergo his medical, 13 million euros. And look, it's very low, to be fair, especially considering what we, not just what we paid for him, but also what we'd been rumoured. If you don't know, we got rumoured it was going to be like 30 million euros, being about 25 million quid. So, it was meant to be a lot higher, but it doesn't even seem to be half of that. I look at how much we bought him in for. We bought him in for 11 million euros. And so, 13 million, it's hardly a profit. It's not like us. We tend to try and make double our money on transfers like that, to be fair. So it wouldn't surprise me if this guy's right. That's way too cheap. Certainly hope we've got a sell-on clause or a buyback clause. It could be one of them. Wouldn't surprise me, because that is typically how we operate. But this is the interesting thing. 30 million. We were told back in May, and we'd have taken that. 30 million euros for a guy that hardly played for us. I think he played like a game, in the league, and then like some sort of maybe some minutes in preseason last season. Other than that, he was hardly a part of the squad. But now, it's about 10 million quid we're getting for it, if that. So it's a weird one with Maximo Perrone. I wish him luck, all the best. It was clear that it wasn't really going to end up happening when you saw the loan moves going on. It felt like it was just he was on his way. But yeah, Perrone, he's going to be on his way. Don't really know how I feel about it. It feels like I do feel a bit bad about it in a way, because I like academy players, and not just academy players, but young signings we bring in actually get a chance at the club. Like Claudio Echeverri, everyone's been buzzing about him, and he's about to go on loan to probably Girona or Lyon, take a pick. So he's probably on his way. Juma Bar, we don't know how it's going to go for him. He's going on loan though, to Nice. So we're kind of in a bit of a crossroads, really. Kind of in a bit of a crossroads. Now then, if you're interested, our away kit and our third kit, it's really night and day, isn't it? It's really quite the difference in quality. An absolute gem down here. What a banger. It's got a collar. If you know me, I absolutely love a collared kit. And this is just, I'm not going to lie, guys, I think it's hideous. I think it's absolutely awful. Maybe when it's on the players, it's going to appease to me a bit more, but I think it's just shocking. Like, if you can do anything, at least make this writing, at least make the badge fully blue, maybe. I don't think there's any saving it, to be honest with you guys. I think it's just hideous the whole way through. I'm sure the message behind it's nice, I'm sure there's a nice message, but God, I just think it's terrible. Away kit is expected to drop in July, which is this one, and then the third kit is expected to drop in August. So, but fasten your seatbelts. Don't know if we're going to have a fourth kit this season yet either. We very well might. We very well won't. Last season it was because of Oasis. Don't know if it'll be the same this season. And then McAtee, interested by Palace and Forest. They are the two biggest clubs in the Prem that are after him. And look, they've both got a foothold in it. Both have European football. Palace are in Conference League because they've been relegated down because of Lyon's situation. And Forest have been promoted to the Europa League because of that. So it really depends on the project he likes more, to be fair. There's a nice gap opening up in both teams with Eze and Gibbs-White, both looking likely to leave, especially Gibbs-White. So, there's a real big gap opening in those teams that he can fill. He can fill that if he so wishes. On this day, we signed Mahrez as well, by the way. 18, yeah, that would have been today, 10th of July. And yeah, that's the latest in terms of City news. We're going to go over to Here We Goes and whatnot now from Fabrizio, because I do like having a look at these. I'm not fully caught up with today. Obviously seen the Gibbs-White stuff. But Alvaro Tavares to Real Madrid. I think he used to play for Man United. Evan Ferguson to Roma. Kochu joining Besiktas. It's a loan with an obligation to buy. Another City right back target, potentially being taken off of us, Wesley. No matter what we think to this guy, I don't know how he did in the Club World Cup, but no matter what we think to him, he does seem to be on the move one way or the other. 20 million was rejected. It's looking more like 25 million euros is what Flamengo want. Look, cheapness is there. The homegrown isn't for us, so, we'll have to wait and see on that. Oh, didn't want to actually click that. Teo Hernandez joining Al Hilal. Such a shame. I think he's a top left back and leaving Europe, and I don't even think he's 30. Jokeres. Now then, if you remember this, here we go. Back in April, Sangare is going to be joining City soon, it seems. Official announcement in some way, probably happening soon. Agreement sealed after City won the competition from several clubs in Europe. He seems to have been a really sorted after fella. Bonjour, says Steve Black. How are you? How are you doing? Bonjour to you. But yeah, Sangare, again, he's one of those project players, probably going to get loaned at some point, and we'll probably sell him for like 20 mil or something like that. Immobile to Bologna, that's official now. Real Madrid winger leaving. That was that initial post I told you about. I mean, this is something, This is something every City fan has at least pictured this. Arsenal have apparently been sniffing. I mean, for me, it probably depends on the fee. I'm not fully against it, but again, it comes down to Gibbs White. I think we are more urgently looking in other areas. Someone posed the idea of Jack Grealish to Real Madrid, but I think Real Madrid would probably just scoff at that and say no. Rodrigo's obviously a top player that deserves to be getting regular minutes at a big club and doesn't really seem to be part of Xabi Alonso's plans. So anyone that wants this guy, it's looking like a real possibility now. It really, really is. So we'll have to wait and see with Rodrigo. It's a very interesting one, though. He's kind of a player that I always thought would be linked with the move away, but probably wouldn't leave. There's a chance that he always would, but I always thought that there was a solid chance he would stay. Ed and Jacko joining Fiorentina. Big ups to him, man. Still in pro football. Napoli not working on Garnacho deal at this point. Keep going through. That's the Perone thing. Norgard joining Arsenal. Mateus Mane signing a 2-year deal with Wolves. Romero looking like he's going to be staying for the moment anyway. And nothing really majorly breaking here. Nothing really majorly breaking. There's the Kudus, here we go. Modric, here we go. Yeah, that's really everything we got for you today, Blues. Not the longest stream ever. I must say, I've done longer streams. But it's looking like Rodrigo's on the way, potentially. It's going to be up to Rodrigo. And Real Madrid don't seem to be too bothered about it. Did you see PSG cook Real Madrid? Yeah, I did see that. Wonderful to see. Always love to see Real Madrid get absolutely battered. It's always a pleasure. And this is your Club World Cup final. Sunday, 13th of July. Hopefully I'll do a watch along for that. But yeah, that's a big one. That really is a big one, guys. I think PSG are going to roast Chelsea in that game. But I might be wrong. But, man, real statement here. Real statement saying we're not going anywhere. Saying don't matter who you sign, we're still there. and we're going to just roast you anyway. 3-0 at half-time, insane scenes. 2 goals for Fabian Ruiz as well. True top performance from PSG. They really don't seem like they're going anywhere. They do seem like an absolutely top force. I'm excited to see them next season. Their football looks really exciting to watch. And it sucks to say that, and not about my own club at the moment. We're gonna really have to wait and see about us next season. It's gonna be really interesting for us, but I really hope we bring in some signings soon. Hopefully we get some sort of news within the next week. But without that, other than that, Blues, that's everything I've really got for you. Big ups to everyone who tuned in, Elijah Lawson and Steve Black commenting. But big ups to everyone who silently tuned in as well. Make sure to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Every like is huge. And I will make sure to see you all tomorrow on Blue Friday show and potentially a stream of my own. I'll see you all there, Blues.